Okay.
Okay, how did you meet Emmy?
Oh, I met her in the first dance I went in a Chamber of Commerce in Broadway here in San Diego, and she is in the front, collecting ticket to go in.
What was the first thing that you noticed about her?
Well, she's sitting down there. I said, I just look at her. I don't know, that's it.
Love at first sight?
I guess so.
How did you propose?
Well, it take, I think 3 or 4 years before I do propose. I always take it for granted that she liked me. I don't know why. So, that's it.
Um, what was going on in your life when...
No. Okay.
We went out and looked for the ring. And then when we, decided to, you know, to give her the ring, and then I went to see her father and tell her that I'll be engaged with, Amy. And her dad said, okay, that's it. So we set up the date for our marriage.
Well, didn't you ask her?
To be married, we're engaged.
What did you do before you got engaged?
Well, you know what? I always go to their house. I cannot take her out. Because if I take her out, the whole family will come. So I might as well stay home.
So you didn't ask her?
As to,
You didn't ask her to marry you?
yeah, we're engaged, so that's,
Well, what did you just...
huh?
You just woke up one morning, you were engaged?
No, it take 3 years. So I go to their house within 3 years.
So did Emmy say we're engaged now, or are you
No,
buying your ring, or what?
I buy her a ring.
Uh-huh.
And then that night I told her father that I'll give him a ring for our engagement
Ah.
ring. Then we set up a date to be married.
What is it that you liked most about her?
Oh, she's kind. It's nice. Easy to please.
What happened? What was the situation? Where were you living when your first child was born?
Oh, the first child was born is I was not home. I'm overseas. That's our first son. Uh, that's our first son. But I was not home. I was overseas during the 50s. So when I come home, he's already born. But he didn't last long because he's a blue baby. He only last 2 months old, and he passed away. So after that, we went to Hawaii. That's what Rick was born in Hawaii. But before he was born, I walk Emmy around the neighborhood because we don't want him to be born on Halloween. On Halloween. So we waited till, midnight before I took her to the hospital. November 2nd, when he was born in Hawaii. And I like it because nobody tell us what to do with the baby. Here in San Diego, between her mother and my uncle, I don't know who to listen to, telling us what to do all the time.
What was the funniest thing you remember about Rick when
Rick?
he was a baby? Or
Oh,
a little
yeah.
boy?
Well, Rick, they call him a pocket head because he got a long head. So, well, he's okay, but he gets sick after 2 months old. So we take him to the hospital again, and he stayed there, I think, 2 weeks. And since then, he never gets sick after that.
And when was Michelle born?
Michelle was born in, I think, 1943, April 43, in Hawaii too. He was born in Hawaii.
And was Rick happy to have a baby sister?
Well, Rick don't care too much about. He don't know. See, and then there are two. So when I get up, I stay home and we just go to our place, someplace without uh, asking anybody. We can do what we want to do. And then finally, we make friends with Grace, stories, and we meet somebody there in Hawaii, an older couple, the Baruso. They're nice to us. So we just like our parents, because if we didn't go to their house on the weekend, they come over the house and take us to their house. So mostly we spend our weekend with them, especially when Rick was young. They like Rick a lot.
And what was the funniest thing that you remember about Michelle?
Oh, Michelle? Well, one time Amy went downtown and she didn't take Lynn and Rick. I was home by myself with them. And when Amy come home, Michelle, she swallowed her saliva, but it went on the wrong side of the pipe. So she got lame and it scared me, so I rushed the car to the hospital. And they know we are coming. By the time we are in the front of the hospital, somebody's waiting for us. She swallowed something in the wrong pipe. She swallowed it in the wrong pipe. So she lost consciousness. And it scared her, me, yeah. I get scared. So we always go to the beach there. Lynn, she float upside down most of the time. Yeah. So Rick is scared of the water, so I keep forcing him to go to the water. That's all.
And when was Laura born?
Laura was born here in San Diego when we come back from Hawaii in October 1955.
Did Michelle like having a little sister?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're three, plus Rachel is living with us, so there are three, and Amy was home with them most of the time. She didn't go to work till 1957. So Mrs. Hardy is the one who, no, not Mrs. Hardy, Mrs. I was still gonna have that people next door. Jensen. They go there in the morning before they go to school. And then when they come home, they stay in the school till I come home, and then they come home. So.
And what funny things did Laura do as a child?
Laura always stayed with my aunt. She stayed there when, gosh, a year old. She kept going there because they like her over there. The two, they don't like to stay with them. Only Laura stayed with them. So, till we went to Texas. Laura's already 3 years old when we went to Texas. So when we come back from Texas, she started going to school too at the same time. So when Amy and I went to work, Rick is the boss to see that Laura is dressed and Lynn is dressed and they go to school.
Did he do a good job at that?
Oh yeah, because when I was overseas, he's the man of the house. He emptied the trash can outside, so like that. That's it.
So, why did you decide to have Jasmine so much later?
Well, we call it a mistake. We call it a mistake because we always go to Las Vegas every year. And we thought he's a boy. You're supposed to name her Kino because her mother will always play Kino. When he come out, be a girl.
So she was a surprise?
Yeah, this is a surprise for us because Laura's 14 years old when she was born.
Did Laura like having a baby?
Oh yeah, she sleep with Laura on the bedroom. Yeah.
And what funny things do you remember about Jasmine?
Jasmine, Well, when she heard her ninang voice, she always cried, next door, because her bedroom's next to her ninang's, kitchen. When she heard her voice, she's crying. She cries. She liked to go to her ninang's house. That's why Amy stopped working to be with her.
And who was your first grandchild?
David, David, he was born in Montana. Uh, I think Amy and Jasmine went there when he was born. It's cold there, Jasmine, when it's snow. I stay home. And then they went to the Philippines, so I had to go. They went to the Philippines in 1971, huh? And we went there in 1972. Yeah.
And what do you remember about David when he was little?
David, he's bald-headed. He had no hair. And Lynn bought a gallon of shampoo. And I was telling him, what? How come she bought a gallon of shampoo? David, they have no hair. So he kept laughing. And Lynn don't know that. He got only 3 strand hair. And he got a big shampoo.
Who was your next grandchild?
Huh?
Who was your next grandchild?
Stephanie. She was born in Edward Air Force Base in Riverside or whatever. Yeah, Stephanie.
And did,
She's cute when she was a baby. And then Michelle is the third one. She was born in Napa. Yeah, Napa Hospital. Michelle. That's why we call her Baby Michelle.
and what do you remember most, or what were some of the funny things that Stephanie and Michelle did as babies?
Well, Stephanie at that time, she don't really care, except she's a little hard-headed. If you tell her not to do it, she'll do it. So one time I told her not to kick the rocks. She kicked it, so I pulled her hair. Till now, she never forget that.
And what about Michelle?
Michelle is okay, she don't say nothing. If you tell her things, she do it. She don't block her way. That's all.
So do you think Stephanie is a reflection of being Michelle's daughter? And
No.
Michelle is maybe a reflection of being Laura's daughter in their
No, I don't think
early
so.
personalities?
I think Stephanie is just like me.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's why we cannot get head to head,
Mm-hmm.
I think she got my temper because she throw things away sometimes. She drop things away. When you let her do something and she don't like it, she'll do it, but she'll drop it.
So how is it that that you and Emmy stayed together for 50 years?
Well, it is up and down, give and take. That's the only way you can do, but it's not, serious, but, you cannot stay forever goody-goody, you got up and down.
And what do you love most about Emmy now?
Oh, it's pretty, she got along pretty good. Give and take too. I got a lot of faults, she got a lot of faults, so we just give and take. Life too short,
So what do you wish for the next 50 years?
Well, the same thing. That's the only thing to do, the same thing. We did it again already, so why not come back and do it all over again, It's nothing changed. That's it.
Yep.
That's long already, half an hour.
Stop moving your foot. You can hear it.
Show me one.
Go ahead.
Okay, how did you and Al meet?
Well, I think I was about 16 years old, and I had to go to a dance, but my mother didn't let me dance because I was too young. Maybe it was 14 years old. Anyway, so I was sitting at the entrance taking tickets because I couldn't dance. And Al came up the stairs with a bunch of his friends, and he looked at me and he said, "Boy, so round, so firm, so fully packed." That used to be the old saying for Lucky Strike cigarettes. And I thought I was sort of insulted, that he said that. And here I thought I was all dressed up in my little formal, thought I looked real sophisticated. And so the next time, then he went inside, and then his friend Wilson, who's going to be at the anniversary, was with him. And they went inside, and then I told my sister, Gloria, that I met the person I was going to marry. And she said, "Well, where is he?" I said, "No, I went home and told her that." And the next dance, he was there, and she said, "Where is he?" I said, "Well," she said, "where is this man that you said that is so tall and has curly hair?" And I said, "Oh, there he is over there." And she said, "First of all, he's short, and he doesn't have curly hair." And so he started to call me. He'd call me late at night. Grandma would get mad because he shouldn't be calling so late at night. And he wouldn't come over to our house for a long time. I'd say about 9 months. He never came over to our house. And finally he came over, and we started going together for a long time. And he asked me to marry. We decided to get married, I guess, in my senior year in high school. And then we took his ring that he had from his mother and took the diamond out of that ring and made an engagement ring for me.
How did he propose?
He really didn't propose. We just sort of agreed to go get the ring. And, we went to get the ring at the Boulevard Jewelry Store on 5th and Broadway. And I wanted a platinum ring because I knew it would last. It would never wear out. And we took that diamond from his mother's, from the ring he had, and made our engagement. Then we announced it. In fact, I was in high school when it was announced in the newspaper.
And what was the first thing that you noticed about him?
I thought he was tall and had curly hair. But, as you know, that's not true.
So when was your first child born?
Our first child was born 11 months after we were married. And our first child was named after Al. His name was Vidal Jr. He was born in November, and unfortunately he passed away in January. So that was a very hard time for us,
And then when was your second child born?
That was Richard, and he was born a year later. He was born November, practically to the same day as my first child. And he was born in Hawaii. By then we had moved to Hawaii, and he was born there.
And what was he like as a little boy?
He was very difficult. I think part of it was because I was worried that something would happen to him, so I was always probably overprotective. We never had anybody take care of him until he was maybe 18 months old. So that was hard because he was just used to me. But I think that's just natural because I had lost our first child.
And then when was Michelle born?
Michelle was born 2 years later in 1953. She also was born in Hawaii. She was a good baby. She never gave us. She was just the sweetest little thing. And I remember when she was born, she looked so cute with all her black hair and just like a little cap of black hair. So they were both born in Hawaii.
So how did Rick like having a little sister?
Well, because he was spoiled, he didn't do too well. And I would be bathing. We had a 2-story place, and our bathroom was upstairs. If I would be bathing Michelle, he would go out in the street and yell up from the street that he was down there, so that I would come down and get him. He did not accept his sister too easily, but that is partly because he had all my attention for so long and didn't have to share.
And then when was your third child born?
Our third child was born. She was conceived in Hawaii, but born in Coronado in San Diego. And she also was a very good baby, very easy to take care of. But by then I had 2 children, plus I was taking care of Terry, my sister Thelma's daughter. So I had 3 children plus her, so I had 4 children to take care of. So she was just a good little baby.
And how did Michelle react to having a baby sister?
She had no problem with that because she was used to sharing with her brother and then with her cousin. So another baby was no problem. By then when you have 4 children, it's not, you can't spoil them. You don't have the time.
So, what do you remember Michelle being like as a child?
As a baby, as a little child, she was very good. She was very easy to take care of. She was no problem. She was a little problem when she had to be a teenager, but she was a middle child, so she had to do some things that were harder to deal with because I think she was a middle child.
Like what?
Like what? Oh, she was very rebellious. If I said something was white, she said it was black. And no matter what I said, she would be the opposite. But that's fairly normal for teenage girls.
And then, how did Jasmine enter this?
Oh, Jasmine was our surprise. Her godmother always said that her name was Kina while I was carrying her, because she said we conceived her in Las Vegas. And so we were really surprised because I was told I couldn't have any more children. And so when I was told I was pregnant, I was so happy. I don't know if her father was too happy, but I was really happy. And but it was a hard pregnancy. But she was really, everyone in our family and our friends, we had a lot of friends and nobody had a little baby, so my pregnancy, everybody had to watch. And when I had her, we had loads of people at the hospital. All Rick's friends, all Michelle's friends, they were all there, just wall-to-wall people, till when she came into the world.
And what was she like as a baby?
I thought she was a very good baby. You know, she wasn't that difficult to take care of. Of course, her siblings would probably disagree, because she had a lot of people to take care of her, so she was bound to be spoiled. But I didn't think she was difficult to take care of. She slept 12 hours a night, you know, at 6 weeks, so that's pretty important.
Do you ever remember her doing any funny things or saying any funny things?
When she was a baby, or when she was young?
Or a child, huh?
Oh, I think when she was a baby, she used to throw herself on the floor and bang her head on the kitchen floor. She used to like to do that. And as she got older, about 5 or 6 years old, when we moved to Delmar, she used to want to run away from home all the time. And we would she would take her little green suitcase and run away and walk around and hide behind the wall. And then one day she was going to run away, and I said, "Let's pack your suitcase." She said, "No, why pack it?" So she just takes an empty suitcase and goes and hides behind the wall until it's time to come home. But she was just a little girl.
So, what is it that makes you love Al so much?
I think he is a father that really loves his family. He really takes good care of me. The best times that we have is when I'm pregnant. Maybe that's why I got pregnant so much, is that he really knows how to take care of me. I mean, he really sees that everything is done, taken care of, and he really cares for his family. And I think, and we come first with him, so I think that's really important.
How is it that you stayed together for so long?
I don't know. I think it's just luck. I really do. I think it's just luck. Well, I never thought of divorce anyway. I've never thought that was, you know, besides I love him very much. And I think, you know, I would be lost without him. You know, so I don't know about him, but I know I would be.
And what are your plans for the next 50 years?
The next 50 years, I don't know, just to enjoy each other, enjoy our family. You know, and watch the children grow, and hopefully have some more grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint.
Grandchildren, talk about them.
Okay, who was your first grandchild?
Oh, it was David. Young David. When Michelle got married and she had David soon after, He was just a, well, of course he's your first grandchild, and I always call him my favorite grandson. Of course, he's my only grandson, but he's my favorite grandson. But he was such a cute baby when he was little. He was a big baby. He was 8 pounds and 8 ounces, and he was just so adorable. Born in Montana, of all places, and we really enjoyed him.
And then when was your second grandchild born?
Stephanie was born, she's now 24 years old, and she was born up in the desert area, up in Edwards Air Force Base. And so we saw a lot of Michelle and David because they were transferred to Air Force Base, so we went up to see them quite a bit. She was a cute baby. I mean, she was just too pretty for words, I thought. She was just a gorgeous little girl. But she was cute too. But they'd all say they were spoiled, but then grandmothers don't think their grandchildren are spoiled.
Do you remember any funny situations with Dave or Michelle?
Oh, they used to visit us every summer. They came out for the summer vacation. And one of the first times when they came out, little Stephanie she likes to go through everybody's personal things. And she went through all the drawers and found all the things that I had kept that had her mother's name or her mother on there. She gathered them up because she was going to take them home. And I told her, no, you can have that later when I've gone to the happy hunting grounds, but those are mine. And she would say, and if she'd get mad at me, she'd bring her mother's picture and her father's picture. She said, this is my mother and father, to remind me that I'm not her mother. I thought that was cute.
And what about with David? Do you
Oh,
remember
David,
anything?
he was just such a good little boy. He was pretty, not quiet when he was young. He's quiet now, but at that time, he was always into things. I mean, he was climbing everywhere, but then that's part of being a boy, you know. He would do all sorts of things, but in fact, they lived with us for a while, and he had to go to school here in Delmar. But we've always enjoyed him.
And when was your third grandchild born?
The third grandchild, Michelle, was born in Napa. Not Napa, it was Rohnert Park, I guess, when Bob and Laura were living up there. And we drove up there soon after she was born. And she was always a happy baby. Of all the 3 grandchildren, she's the happiest. And she was always talking from the time she was 6 months old. Even though you couldn't understand her, she was talking. And always very happy. And I used to call her a little happy baby. She was always just a happy little child.
And do you remember any funny situations when she was a little bit older?
I can't remember anything that was really funny about her. You know, all I know, she used to like to dress up in all my clothes, all my dress-up evening clothes. So I kept a closet full of stuff, and she would put on high heels and makeup and get dressed up and put on a little bit of fur coat and whatever, just to be grown up. I have pictures of her. She looked so cute. She was I'd say about 5 or 6 years old when she was doing that, but she was very, very cute.
Am I missing anything?
Talk about whatever.
Oh, I don't think I asked about Laura when she was a baby or a little girl.
Who, Laura?
Laura, uh-huh.
Oh, Laura she was like Michelle. She was a very happy child. In fact, one of the things that she did when we lived in Texas for a while, and she was raised a lot by Al's aunt, Lola. And so when we went to Texas, we had to leave, you know, Lola and her, but the Lola and Lola means grandmother and grandfather in Filipino. And she said, well, I won't ever see my Lola and Lolo again. And then when we were down in Texas, she was in kindergarten, and she went to a Catholic school. And one day I went over to see how things were going, and I was talking to Sister about Laura. And she said, she's such a nice child, your adopted daughter. I said, my adopted daughter? She said she's adopted. I said, I don't think so. She's not adopted. She's mine. And I asked Laura why she said that. She said, well, I was born in Coronado, And nobody's born in Coronado, which is probably true. There's not too many people born in Coronado because there's not a big hospital. But she was born on the Navy base in Coronado. But I thought that was real cute that she realized that nobody was born in Coronado, and so she had to be adopted. So the nuns all thought she was an adopted child, but she wasn't.
Anything else? You want to talk about anything else?
I don't know. You guys are going to call it.
Because I asked the last question a long time ago, which we'll have the final.
Yeah.
Is, you know, why you've stayed
You done?
together for 50 years now.